This week we have back the lovely Lulu Jovovich.
Not to be like that white bitch who's like, I went to Asia and it healed me, but it kind of did. The real shock is when you find your first gray pube.
This couple was changing their baby's poopy diaper on his seat in their row.
Oh my God. People will put in their fucking Instagram bios like bipolar, whatever, like LA, New York. Autistic, asexual. I'm like horny again.
Yay!
Tokyo.
Yeah.
You're born in Tokyo. You're boring.
I was gonna say that your hair looks really nice, but I was gonna wait till we were rolling. Oh my God, are we rolling?
We were actually.
Look at that. Yeah, your bangs look so freaking like perfect and cute.
Really?
And, like, I would love to just do that. It just wouldn't work on my face.
Yeah, I trimmed yesterday I trimmed them before I did Brea Improv, and so I trimmed them right before, and I got complimented on that too. But you know, when you've had this haircut since you were 5 years old, like I have,
I got the photo of you as a kid.
you get used to it.
And I've had this haircut since it grew out this long.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much since elementary school. The same exact haircut.
Right. Do you dye your hair? Mm-mm. Yeah, me neither, ever.
Yeah. I sometimes see a little like piece that got some blonde going, and I think it's a gray, and then I go, it's not. Mandy, be grateful you're not gray yet.
Hold on, have you found a gray hair yet?
I have found a couple.
Okay, I found my first one. I will always remember the day because it was the same day that Dave Grohl revealed that he had an affair baby, okay? And so the joke is that I was so shocked by the news it turned my hair white, but
Your hero.
yeah, I know.
Oh, that's
this
so
is fun.
funny. Yeah, I know you're not supposed, they say you're not supposed to pluck them. It makes it worse. We're not going to leave that.
Yeah. I felt horrific finding that hair. They say that I hear older women say a lot that the real shock is when you find your first gray pube.
I've heard that.
That's like the end.
I got mine lasered, so I'll never have that experience.
Are you like fully lasered?
Full baby.
Oh my God, I want to do that so badly.
Best thing I've ever done. I got a lady dirt cheap Chalet shout out.
Okay.
It to me it didn't really hurt.
Yeah.
But you know, that thing's been beat up. So I'm just kidding.
Old Rocky Balboa.
Oh, we have so much in common. That's great. I'm going to do that. I just found out that I'm going to be in Montenegro and Serbia in August.
Ooh, so you want to do it before then?
We'll see. I know. I mean, I guess so. If I'm gonna, if they're gonna be flapping around, might as well do it. You know what my cousin said? It's for my cousin's 40th birthday, and I talked to him on the phone today. He's like the coolest guy ever. But he was like, oh, he was like touched that I'm coming because I never go visit the old country. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, you know, it's so nice that you're coming, and also you look good, so you're gonna add value to the trip. I'm like, hey, this is how it is in our family.
Your cousin wants to fuck you?
How southern of him.
How far is that flight?
I'm not sure. I imagine it's you have to take a connecting flight. So I imagine it's going to be 12 hours to London or Italy or whatever it is, and then like a quick couple hours to Serbia or whatever.
Nothing a little Zanny can't fix.
You just went to where? Do we talk about it?
We could slightly.
Okay.
I've been into it. But yeah, I went on. Which is so funny. We were talking about couples. You made a post that said, I've never been on, or what did it say? I've never been on a summer.
Yeah, I've never been on like a tropical
yeah,
romantic vacation with a man. Yeah.
And I wrote back, me neither. And
Yeah.
she goes, I'm going to kill Matt if he doesn't take you on one.
I said he better act right.
And I go, we gotta book this. So Lulu's going to take you down. Oh, wow. So 15 hours and 40-minute flight.
That's Slovenia, not Serbia, but
No.
it's close. You uncultured swine.
I thought that was what you said.
No.
I wouldn't be able to spell either.
I was
of
like,
them.
why she was going to Slovenia? This doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
to visit Melania's family. Shortest flight. Yeah, so it'll be a long one, but it's okay. It's trying to figure it out. You know, Montenegro's on the coast. It's on the Adriatic Sea. We're gonna like rent a boat on one day and stuff. So
That's cool. I don't even know what that sea is.
yeah, you know. Hey, of all the seas in the world, Michigan has fucking okay, I'm gonna talk about Michigan later, but Michigan has these fucking dumbass lakes. Who gives a shit?
I don't know. All I know is to remember the seas when I was younger, and by younger I mean a couple years ago. I thought Atlantic, Florida, at home. Atlantic is the at-home ocean.
Yes.
I gotta come up with mind games for me to remember anything.
Oh, see, I love geography. I'm good at maps and shit.
That's cool.
Good at maps and shit, I said. No, I really do. It's like my autistic special interest. Not that I'm self-diagnosing myself.
Why? All comedians are.
I know. My latest ex-boyfriend for a reason, was very convinced that I was autistic, but I agree with him. So
I think a lot of people who are intelligent, that's like, which who would have thought, like, when you're like talking shit as a kid to your friends, saying the word you're not supposed to say anymore.
Yeah.
Is that like that? It's the opposite. Like, you're dumb, you'd say you're blah blah. Now it's really just if you're intelligent, it means.
Right. Yeah. If you're a little bit socially weird,
Yeah.
but intelligent and good at like a special interest, then yeah. I mean, it people wear it like a badge of honor now. People have really. It's true. Like people will put in their fucking Instagram bios like bipolar, whatever, like LA, New York, autistic, asexual. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go. Here we go. We're not hiding anything anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So I felt with the Pacific Ocean, because, you know, I'm born and raised here, it was cool to go to Japan, and then I got to touch the Pacific from the other side.
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
That was like a cute little full circle moment.
Yeah, I want to hear
Full
about
globe.
Japan. I went to Tokyo 2019, maybe it was.
Like for vacation, family.
Yeah, with my stepmom. We went
Hell
on
yeah.
a couple trips together, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, very nice. That's awesome.
She's not in the family any longer.
Well, actually, my stepmom also divorced my dad, but she's like, she and my mom and I are closer than like my dad is with
Really?
any of us. Yeah. It's a weird, very weird modern family situation.
It's fun, though. So wait,
yeah.
why did you go to Tokyo? And you performed in Tokyo. Tell me
yeah.
everything.
So Japan was Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka. Tokyo is, you know, I usually get overwhelmed in these big, like, you know, when I'm surrounded by millions of people, but it didn't feel that way at all. It felt like its own organism. People are polite. It's clean. I really love the sound of the language too, actually. If I had time, I would learn it
would be
probably,
cool.
actually. I'm okay with learning languages and stuff. Anyway, so Tokyo was great. We stayed basically in like the Times Square of Tokyo, and the same thing in Osaka. But I did 2 sets there at this place called Tokyo Comedy Bar.
Sounds very American.
Yes, it's an English speaking, it's just a little room that is in a building in Shibuya, and I had 2 sets there. The second one was basically just like an open mic, but it went well. I was going to be just happy to be able to say like, oh, I've performed in Tokyo or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's so cool.
But my sets went well, and the people there were cool. It's mostly like expats, immigrants, people visiting, and then like some Japanese people like wanting to learn English a little bit better. So that was sick. I mean, I just fell in love with the country. I didn't want to come home. Kyoto was also like the most culturally rich, no skyscrapers, everything's historical, preserved, not everything, but, you know, shrines and shrines, bamboo forest. I went to a punk show.
No way.
Which was the coolest by
That would have been
myself.
so cool. By yourself? Who did you go
So
to
I
Japan with?
I went with my mom. My mom is the one who can afford to take.
I went with my stepmom.
Right, exactly. You know how it is. But actually, I will say the yen is very weak right now, and so it was very cheap. It was like a lunch for 2 people was like $20. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said. I was like, once you're there, everything was so cheap.
Yes.
Even when I was there a while ago, it was affordable.
Good. Yeah, a lot of people have the misconception that it is very expensive, and I feel like that must have been how it was back in the day, but right now it's not. So anyway, the punk show was cool as fuck. It was an all-female punk group called Otoboke Beaver.
Beaver?
Yeah. Which they pronounce Biba.
So cute.
Yeah, it was a last minute thing. Like, so the shitty part of the trip was like realizing that my mom's getting older. She would tap out every day at like 2 p.m. You know what I'm saying? And I was just going, walking. But then, so I was walking, and then I got a message from like a friend who said, oh, I'm friends with this band. They're performing in Kyoto tonight. If you're there, it's too late to get you guest list probably. But they I looked it up and it was literally like 7 blocks from where I was sitting.
Wow.
So I just went over there. Yeah, here they are. A little tiny desk concert, but they're epic. Yeah, that girl has so much fucking stage presence. The guitarist,
so
it
cool.
was so cool, and it was so much fun. And the venue too. The venue was like 108 years old. The procession of how everyone like showed their tickets and everything was so like orderly, and not like here you go to a punk show and everyone smells bad and fucking. And you think you're gonna get like
pickpocketed,
yeah, or worse, pickpocketed in your pussy, and so it was so nice. And then even there was no opener or anything, and beforehand, one employee of the venue like went around, collected people's empty beer cans, whatever, and so then. The show happened. They did like 3 encores. That guitarist chick stage dove like 3 times.
Really?
It was so much fun. It was so much, and I'm so glad it happened. Because on the plane over, I was thinking like, I know punk has like a rich history in Japan. Whatever, I don't know the details, but I was like, it would be cool to go put it out of my mind. And then this happened to fall into my lap. Yeah,
and it's good like doing stuff alone. I felt so safe when I was in Japan, like walking around alone, like in the streets. I was blown away with how clean and nice and safe and just all of the good things
yeah,
there.
and to be able to walk alone at night at 10 p.m. or whatever, even the public transportation, no one's like screaming at you, no one's like
so orderly. All the kids were just like reading.
Oh,
where I was like, wow.
Yeah, my mom and I we took a day trip to this place called Nara Park where I got to like feed deer basically.
Really?
It was very cool, and there were shrines, temples, etc. But on the train over there was like a group of school children, and so that was fun like communicating with them because they were like slightly like teasing me and my mom. Obviously we didn't understand what they were saying. It didn't feel like bad or anything, but it was fun like trying to communicate. And then I pulled out Google Translate and stuff, and it was just like, it's fun, like kids are kids everywhere, know what I'm saying? Like, so that was a very cute thing. We also went to some like fancy schmancy, I don't know if they have a Michelin star or not, but dinner in Kyoto that was like one of these like extremely, it was like it's one of these places that's like, yeah, we cremated an ostrich egg and sprinkled that over this endangered mushroom and then
oh my God.
drowned that in the blood of a virgin, you know what I'm saying?
Was it good?
So fancy. It was, you know what, if I'm being honest, I was a little bit distracted by what Ahadi Bobadi the chef was.
Whoa.
So that's always nice, but sure, I mean great. I enjoyed the meal.
I think they probably have that chef there for a reason. They're like, these people are paying the price. Let's give them.
Well, the guy is like some super trained. He was trained at like the top restaurant in the world, some place called Noma in Denmark. I don't know, but anyway. I feel like I didn't promote this man's business enough. Hold on, ask me again.
I feel like they probably had him there for a reason.
Oh, no. Ask me about the food.
Oh, how was the food?
Oh! I could have kissed the chef.
Oh my God, that's how you know it was good.
Yes.
Wait, I just thought, 2 things I was thinking. 1, I could just feel that feeling of leaving the concert. Like I'm sure you had that feeling of like, oh, I just had the best night, and to walk back.
Yes.
I love that feeling. I want to live in that feeling.
Yeah. You're so right. I totally had that moment. I had that moment there, and then when I was walking to and from my sets in Tokyo to do comedy, I was like, this is like the most romantic feeling. Like not, like
it
love
is a
romance,
romantic
but like
feeling.
Like book romance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was that. What else was I gonna say? Something about. What did you just?
The hot chef.
No. Enough about that.
Okay. The hot chef. I was gonna ask really quick. How were the other comics on the show? Were they American, or how many other comics were there?
There were a couple. Yeah, and pretty much everyone was American or British or Canadian,
okay.
And then this is just like their haunt that they go. Like they all have like normal jobs in Tokyo. And then they go there for fun or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Were they nice?
Or Yeah, sure. Very nice. Very, you know.
Because that's another whole thing is not only do you have to perform, it's like meeting comics in such an unknown territory.
There was one guy who there was one guy I could tell had a little bit of like oh, like you're encroaching into my turf or whatever, I want to be the hot shot here or whatever, which was annoying, but
there's always gonna be that guy.
Oh, what I wanted to say just about the punk show was afterward, before I the walk back to the hotel, it was cool, you know, because it's not a lot of English speakers there in general, but then I overheard some girl speaking Russian, and so there cool. I was at the end I was you know, I shared a cigarette with some European foreign exchange students basically, and this one Swedish guy who looked like straight out of 1980s Long Beach metalhead. He had a suicidal tendencies, backwards hat on, and so I was talking to him. I thought he was from LA, and then he was like, "No, I'm Swedish. I live here. I work here." And I was like, "All right." but it was cool. I mean, it's fun to see how I mean, whatever, not to sound like a cliche asshole, but it's cool to see how music, you know, transports across the world and is, you know, communicated and
it is cool
and appropriated and stuff, you know.
I did think it was interesting when I was there that no one spoke English, and that's not what's interesting. They shouldn't have to.
Right.
But that all of the music everywhere that I was going was in English.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right.
Because I was like, I can't talk to anyone, but I could understand the music. It's strange.
Right. I think, I've totally had that conversation before when I've been out of the country. Yeah, I remember actually the last time when I was in Serbia, which was when I was 12, we were talking about that, about how part of the reason why English is so popular is because also so much of our media is sent out into the world, you know what I'm saying? And America doesn't have a lot of at most we get Cardi B in Spanish, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the most we'll get in terms of other languages. Sorry, I'm gonna correct I have truly the world's worst posture out of everyone I know, and
you're
so
working on it.
Yes,
it's good for the tits. You know?
Yeah, I know. Dude, it's crazy not to be like that white bitch who's I went to Asia and it healed me, but it kind of did. I really feel I don't know. The past few years, I was so depressed. I was so living in shame and pain and fear and whatever. I'm horny again. Yay!
Yay!
It's a big victory. So I mean, I just feel and I feel like I want to have my tits out more. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good feeling.
I want to work on my posture and stuff. You know, so
it is important to pull yourself out and just to see there's so much else. You could just get in this dark bubble in this all these things that don't matter at all. Just to go out and just be forgot what book it was. Some book I talked to Chappelle about. I forgot which one. But it was just, there's a point that it made of you can say, say you were in high school and bullied and something really embarrassing happened and you think your life is over. Go to a city one block over. No one knows who you are or anything. It doesn't matter.
Totally. Yeah. I've had that a lot since I came back. Even with comedy and stuff. I mean, being afraid to talk to certain people in comedy because I'm no, I don't want to take up their time. I don't want to feel I feel so small compared to these people. And now I really don't give a shit. I'm also turning 30 this year. So I feel it's starting to you know.
Let me tell you this. As an old broad over here, I gotta tell you, from 29 to 30, the difference it made. It's just
no. I swear to God, 30 was my most miserable year.
Wow.
It was everything boiled up. Went to a head. I exploded. I got a therapist at 20, end of 29 into 30. I just panicked, found this lady, called her, and then just started changing my life and everything I was bottling up. And it helped my comedy so much. And my listeners no, it didn't. But if you saw it before, but just growing into yourself and feeling more grounded and just I don't know, it just feels 30 just felt like a whole new book.
Yeah.
Not even a chapter. That we're on to the next book.
That's awesome. That's I had a similar crisis when I turned 29 in December. And then I was talking to my stepmom about it, and she was like, the 29, 39, 49, I was always very like anxious and sad during those years because it felt like a chapter was closing. But as soon as I turned 30, 40, 50, it felt like, oh, there's a new world of opportunity. So hopefully that's the case with that, because you know how it is. You're like fuck 29, like I haven't done anything I thought I was gonna do. I haven't accomplished anything, whatever. But now I have a much healthier like outlook and stuff, and I'm like putting an honest effort into like comedy, acting, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
and you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
So it's all good things, and it's just hard out here in general, just comparing yourself, you're seeing too much of other people's successes. And not that it's a bad thing, I'm happy for their success,
right?
But it's just like, say you're on vacation, you pull up and you see everyone at the store, you're like, oh no,
yes,
I'm not at the store,
right?
Like, cool. Like,
yeah, that stuff used to be very debilitating to me. I think now, they say comparison is the thief of joy, which is true, but I also think it's good to like kick your ass sometimes a little bit. I mean, even with me, I ended up going to West Hollywood Pride. It was like a week after I got back from Japan, I want to say maybe 2 weeks. And I the Comedy Store has that float. I was like, well, I'm not gonna, ask to go on the float. Who am I? I'm not really like, part of the store or anything like that. But then I started seeing on Instagram on that Sunday noon, I start seeing like, friends who are there. They're not necessarily on the float, but they're like Comedy Store people. They're there. And then I was like, fuck, like I'm having such FOMO. And then I was like, why am I scared to go to West Hollywood, where I'm literally from? But in Japan, I wasn't scared to like just go out and go on my own. Let me just go by myself.
Yeah.
So I went, parked. First thing I see is the Comedy Store float.
Look at that.
And I walk up to everyone, and they're like, hop on. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I don't want to impose, whatever. They're like, shut the fuck up. Like, just come be with us. And it was the most fun I've had, like, ever.
Yeah, you got to ignore that stupid little voice.
Yeah. It was like, no one was upset to see me, probably, but
I'm sure they were happy to see you.
Yeah. And it was so much fun to like, that's what I'm saying, is I feel like a new person. I was like, I don't remember the last time I danced in public. I don't remember the last time I like had a beer and was like, woo, like, let's party. I was like blowing kisses to the crowd, being like, gay, yay.
It's fun. And one thing it sounds like you're good at, which I think was like, I've always loved being alone and doing things alone. But I think a lot of people and friends I know, I struggle with that. And I think one of the most important things before you settle down or like get in a deep relationship is you have to love doing things by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love being alone.
Good.
And
Yeah.
doing things.
Do you have siblings?
I don't know why I said no. Oh my God. Why was that? Yeah, I have a sibling. Why was I to say no? No, Mike doesn't have a sibling. That's what I meant to say.
I'm great at doing things alone. I drink by myself all the time.
Yes, I do have a sibling.
Copy. Okay. Yeah. No, I was just going to say, in my case, I feel like I'm almost too comfortable being alone because I grew up also with like a single mom. So I didn't see any like relationship stuff in the house. I don't know. I'm thinking I've never been like, I don't know. I'm kind of rethinking stuff about like marriage too, because I've kind of been against it in the past few years, but I feel like recently, even traveling, I was like maybe there is something to this thing. You know what also kind of changed my mind with that is not totally changed my mind. I'm not like it's not like, it's still not necessarily a goal for me, but what kind of made me think about it differently is my mom for the first time recently expressed regret that she never like dated or like found someone else, because she was having like some procedures and she was like, I don't even have anyone at home to bring me a glass of water. And I was like, fuck, like that killed me, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm kind of
There'll be robots for that by the time you're old.
yeah.
No, but I think it is nice to have someone. It's just a lot of work always.
Right.
But it's good work. I guess I think everything comes with a cost.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like seeing yours and Maddie's relationship because I think like he's not like the rest of these fucking comic fools who's like a child. Like you could tell that he like handles business and like you guys can like rely on each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like one person is
definitely
capable and the other is incapable. You know what I'm saying? So at least from afar. I mean, I don't know. I'm not like that. I don't live with you guys.
It's pretty equal. Maybe not in the kitchen. He takes over.
Oh.
So it really sucks, you know? I mean, in that fact of he'll be like, it's not equal in a bad way because he loves cooking.
That's
he loves
excellent.
it.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, I'm not going to get in there and mess things up.
No, God, that's
Take
excellent.
it away, man.
Wow.
But I think, well, one thing that where Mike and I are writing in our script as like the main character, we're working on a movie. We're turning Miseryless Mandy into a movie. Yeah, baby.
Yay.
I think I know an actress.
Who?
I don't know. But is one fear and thought I have a lot about marriage is the whole like as a female comedian, I think you're more attractive single. But that's such an overthought because think of like it doesn't make a difference. Natalie Cuomo is a perfect example.
Yeah.
She's married and she's hot and
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it
Like
matters.
it's no guy's not gonna follow you because
Yeah.
you're married. And then Ali Wong's another good example of like I started watching her when she was married and pregnant.
Right.
Because in my head I'm like, oh, I want my first special to be like me single, then these jokes, and then watch me grow.
Right.
Or like I feel like there's these steps in my head or things that matter that don't.
Yes.
At all.
Totally. That's an easy trap to fall into, is just setting up these rules for yourself that aren't objectively true. That happens all the time. Yeah, I think no, I think that shouldn't affect comedy shit at all. What I think about a lot in terms of like the discrepancy between like how male and female comics are treated is how like the comment section of Your Mom's House, how much more like vile and volatile shit Christina Pajitsky gets compared to Tom, and it's like they have the same sense of humor.
talking
They're
about the
doing
same things.
the same shit, and people are like, eviscerating this
Yeah.
woman just because she's like. Anyway,
It happens. I mean, I get all of the comments that are all female comics do or talk about sex jokes, and a lot of people will defend me and go, "That is comedy."
right?
Male comics
Yes.
as well.
Yes. How many men hump a stool?
Yeah.
I can talk about.
Make
My lady bits.
a penis mic.
Right.
I've never made a penis mic.
Yeah.
I've never sucked a fake mic or humped a stool. And I know I may have gone like this, but yeah, the double standards. There is the fear though, like I feel like, which I also had to get out of my head because is that like as a female comic aging that you just it doesn't look as good, not look as good, but like physically. But then that's such another taboo because all of the female comedians that are older that I love are so hot and look
Yeah.
so good. Not that they have to,
Right.
but they do.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at like Whitney or anyone that's like a little older thinking they look like an older female. I think they look amazing.
No, yeah, you have to, well, listen, once you're that famous, you have to like keep up a certain thing for, you know what I'm saying? Like Ali Wong and Nikki Glazer, they dress much better for their specials than when they're touring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's part of like, it's just part of maintaining that kind of look. You know what I'm saying? Even fucking Dane Cook, you see how much shit he has injected into his face? Like,
Everyone's panicking. We're all panicking. But yeah, I think guys also deal with it. It's true.
yeah. It's fun. I
How
mean,
many fake hair transplants can you see on that stage?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there are guys
Trips
that
to
are
Turkey.
freaking out and not happy about it.
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, like at the end, I feel like I heard Joe Rogan like talk about this. Like, you don't like you shouldn't go overboard because being funny isn't about like looking hot. I
Yeah.
mean, now with TikTok, it is changing a little bit, but like. You should. It helps if you look kind of goofy as a comic. If you're funny looking and people are laughing at you before you even like say anything, that's
Yeah.
also like a benefit. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
But totally, it's different for girls. Like it's I feel like, yeah, it's like funny for a girl to look. I don't know. I'm gonna actually. You know what? I'm gonna stop myself because I almost said something extremely offensive that I don't want to be.
We're
said on
tapping out
here.
of the hooks.
Yeah.
And it's hard for everyone, but women do have it harder. But yeah, I don't even know how we got into that.
From marriage,
Oh, yeah,
ironically
yeah.
enough.
Yeah. So you're more open to it.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing that. And my thought now in a joke I'm trying to work on is this. So I'm trying to bring back one of my first jokes I loved was like musical chairs about marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But now my thought on it is like I I used to wonder why so many people got divorced, but now I'm watching all of my friends get married. And I'm like, oh my God, I get it.
Yeah.
Like none of them should be together.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, and they will be divorced soon.
Yeah. There's a rare couples that you go to their weddings and you're like, they're actually good together.
Right. Yeah, one of my cousins, she's like 32, 33. She got divorced a year ago, and the motherfucker had a baby less than a year later with another woman. So
Oh my God. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's scary out there.
yeah.
I feel bad for these people who get totally blindsided. Like,
Oh yeah.
there was this girl in my high school that was dating, or in high school, then she dated this guy and they got married. And once he got his green card, he divorced her and then started dating one of her friends.
Oh my God.
It was like but there was so much more dirt to it.
Ooh.
Like a really messed up, like
Yeah.
totally used. Oh, like he like lied about everything. Like he wasn't who he said he was. Like
Yeah.
all of this stuff.
Yikes. That same cousin that I just referenced, she has like a cousin, no, her god sister or something. She had a similar situation where that girl, moved here, had a green card. Her husband kind of unexpectedly divorced her, but he was kind and like it did the right thing and was like, no, let's stay married for papers, whatever. But he was like, but she was blindsided. But yeah, that's shitty.
I would rather watch true crimes on that. Like true crime, like blindsided. Like we don't need murder. I want some good. Give me some good gossip.
Yeah.
Some hometown gossip.
I know, that's always fun. Yeah,
Right?
like when they're exactly, when they're like together for 8 years and then he runs off with her hairstylist or whatever.
Yeah, or has like 3 other families. I would love. Why you don't have to kill people to get excited?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Come on, Netflix,
So
chill out.
We're gonna make cheap, dirty smut documentaries. We're just gonna shoot them vertical on an iPhone.
Okay.
And we're gonna go and we're gonna just ask girls in their 30s and be like, "Who's the town slut dude that all of you want to talk about?" And then we'll just record that, and it'll be a little clipped up thing, and then it's like, "Hoes of Wisconsin" or something.
Yeah. All right. Get
The man whores of Madison.
Ooh, man, where's the Madison sounds
That's
good.
fun. That is the best podcast idea I've heard this week. To be fair, I've heard a lot of shitty ones.
Oh, okay. Wow. So much to talk about. Did you have a weekly wiener on mind? Anything that's been bugging you lately?
Yes.
Take it away.
Listen, I am healthier since Japan, but I'm still a bitch. Okay, it's fine. No, you know what it is the one thing that happened when I was there that I made me start like ranting internally. I almost posted a video to Instagram about it because it infuriated me so much. Okay, I was walking in Kyoto by myself, and there was in this like kind of historical area, and it was very busy. It's a very popular touristy area, and I started hearing I needed to use a bathroom really badly. And normally it's like very easy to find bathrooms over there, but in this case it wasn't, And so then I overheard some Americans speaking. So I went and met them, and I asked them, I was like, hey guys, like I hear I can hear your accents, whatever. Do you guys happen to know where the nearest restroom is? And so they told me, but they were the kind of like ungrateful, spoiled rich kids that listen, I grew up with money, so I'm kind of familiar with this mentality. Not that I'm, whatever, but no, I mean, not that I like stayed close to people like that.
Yeah, you've been around it.
But I'm very familiar with this mentality. The first thing they said after they answered my question, thank God, they were in that like rich way. They were like, wait, can we ask you a question? What do you think of her bag? What do you think of her purse? And it was one of them, and she was like, she was like with it. She was in on the joke, but it was still like, it's that very like snobby,
mean
like,
girl.
what do you think of, what do you think of her purse? I was like, I don't know. It's like a very standard, like they were like, would you say it's like frumpy or like this, whatever? I was like, I don't know. It's like very, teasing her. Again, she was in on it, so that wasn't that bad. But then they were like, okay, so what? I was like, where are you guys from? They said from Michigan. And, I could tell they were very wealthy. And they were like, so where else are you going in Japan? I said, Tokyo. I just came from Tokyo. They didn't hear that I just came from Tokyo. They were like, no, don't go to Tokyo. I was like, what do you mean don't go to Tokyo? They were like, oh my God, it's so boring. We were there. It's not worth going to. It's so boring.
What? Oh my God.
You fucking wieners. Tokyo.
Yeah.
You're bored in Tokyo. You're boring. You're boring if you're fucking bored in Tokyo. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And if you're from fucking Michigan,
to say Tokyo.
Michigan, and you're bored in Tokyo, and I could tell that they didn't drink. Actually, it was like a young. I'm not gonna get into why, but I was like, what are you talking? You're boring. If you're bored in Tokyo, they have everything.
Yeah.
You can find fucking blow in Tokyo. You know what I'm saying? Like
Tokyo's the farthest thing from boring.
exactly. Like you are the problem, and it's like, what do you have in fucking Michigan? A failed auto industry and the death of Motown and some fucking lakes, you assholes. But I was like, this is ridiculous. I hate that, like, and I'm very familiar. It's like a very new money thing where like it's like new money, like influencers, you know, where like you just try to act like the you know, the cool things are beneath you.
Yep.
And you're just like, you know, you're not that easily impressed or whatever. It's like, guys, fucking find some whimsy in your life, bro. Like,
It's always the people who have to go against the grain.
yeah, and it's like you're trying to be cool or something. And shut the fuck up. You're
That's another thing I love about getting older in your 30s. Things that aren't cool, you can be like cheesy again and not
Yes.
care.
yes.
You can wear a Disney shirt to Disney, a Hawaiian shirt on a cruise. You can do just these dumb things because it's fun.
Yeah, I stopped caring about like looking imperfect in photos too. This happened actually a few years ago. I stopped caring really, but I'm like, I don't give a shit if I'm like, if there's like some fold here, a camel toe, if I'm like looking like, I don't care. I used to be like, no.
Oh no, they're gonna see.
But now I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got recognized at Pride at West Hollywood Pride.
Ooh, in front of the Comedy Store float.
A few of them. It was at the end. It was after we got off the float and everything. So that was.
Whoa!
I have the gays on my side. What can I say?
Hey, that is a good group to
I
have.
know.
Solid
If you've
group.
got them in your pocket, like honestly, that's probably how Kathy Griffin was able to survive. You know what I'm saying? Because she
Yeah.
got canceled real hard, but she still like she didn't kill herself. You know, and I feel like she's got the gays to thank for that.
Yeah, that's a solid group.
Right. So anyway, that was that. I also I accidentally I accidentally had a little bit of an edible for the first time in 7 years at Pride. Okay.
Ooh.
Thank God it hit me when I got home because my stomach was so empty. There was no like
Oh yeah, that will make a
metabolizing
difference. Just like
happening.
alcohol, if there's not enough anything
Right.
in you.
So that hit me thankfully at the end, you know, because it was someone was passing around, you know, like a Ziploc bag of like, you know, like a dessert bread or whatever,
Oh
right?
my God.
And she was saying weed bread, or like offering it to people. And she's like a 70-year-old woman. And so I kept hearing wheat bread or like sweet bread. So I was like, oh, cool. She's taking care of us.
How much did you eat thinking it was
Just-
wheat bread?
Just a little bit, but I haven't consumed marijuana in like 7 years.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I'm saying?
edibles hit in a whole other way.
Yeah. So thank God I was like dying of heat stroke at home. Got dry mouth, and I was, but you know, it was nice because I haven't smoked weed in a long time because like it takes me back to like more trauma druggy times. You know what I'm saying? But this was pleasant. I just felt stupid, so
That's fun.
I'll take it.
Do you think you're going to dabble more since you had a good experience? Just a little fun?
never say never.
Ooh, she's back.
I'm wearing green for a reason.
Whoa. Green, that's actually my favorite color. I'm not wearing it, but dark
Really?
green, yeah.
Yeah, I got this at Old Navy. I got headshots, like proper acting headshots.
I saw.
Well, that was different. I got
Oh.
so that was like my first influencer deal. It was I mean I only have 5,000 followers on Instagram, but basically that was this girl with like a self-portrait photo studio called Mirror LA.
Ooh.
She reached out to me. She was like, "I'll give you like an hour and a half free session if you make like a little content
That's
influencer
awesome.
video about it." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll take it."
They look great.
Yeah, those were I'm very happy with how those turned out. And again, when I turned 29, I was like, you know what? I would love to have like some type of like last like great photo shoot of my 20s before I lose all my value as a woman. And then it happened
Women
without.
have value?
Hey!
How
No,
much?
it's cool. That was another post you made. I was dying laughing. What did you say? You're like, how do people get all of these photos? Like,
Yes. I didn't mean that to be funny. I was genuinely curious. I said something along the lines of like how we're like I see a lot of like LA girls like they're constantly posting like high
Full
quality
on.
good photos from
Yeah.
photos. So my question was if they're friends with photographers, if they're sleeping with photographers, flirting with photographers, what the situation is. So I didn't have to have sex with anyone.
that's
thankfully.
good. That's great.
I got one
Or flirt,
Right.
because then you have to turn down the sex.
Yeah, and then the acting headshots, I had to pay an arm and a leg. I wish I could have fucked for
Yeah.
some headshots, but
Uh.
well, if the photographer is listening, no, I didn't say that.
Headshots are so expensive. I haven't had photos done in forever. The photos I use, my friend Caleb takes and just like put it
Nice.
on the street.
Right.
Find some good sun.
Sure.
Little touching up.
Right.
But yeah, some people, like there's certain people that just always
Yep.
have photos. And to a certain point, I'm like, now I'm thinking a little narcissistic.
Yes, sure.
That
Sure.
starts like
Sure.
ringing a bell.
Yeah.
But then also there's a part of me that's like, I want to look back and have these photos of I want cool photos.
I know. I was thinking, I was like, in every like famous person's house I've been in, not every famous person, but every like attractive famous person's house I've been in, they like, I mean, talking about women, like they do have like nice, even if you watch the Kardashians, they have like the nice like framed photos, like very high quality. I was like, would it be crazy if I got a couple of these framed and put in my house? I don't know. I'm kind of considering it because it's like, you know, I'm going to be old one day.
Take it in. I always thought it was weird when people, I always thought it was weird when people have their own photos of themselves as their phone backgrounds.
Yes, I agree with that one. I agree with that.
I think it started back to high school when people had photos of themselves in their binders. Did you ever see that? And I was like, this goes back. These people, I can't imagine opening my phone screen and looking at myself or having
Yeah.
a photo of myself. And I was like, I want this as I don't know.
Right, unless it's like a group photo of you and your family or something. But no, I've seen guys with that, with their like with their like acting headshot or like their professional headshot as their, I'm like, you're ugly. Like, what are you?
This is weird to be problematic, but could it be so if you lose your phone or something, you hit the button, you're like, oh, I can figure out whose phone this is because
No.
the person's
I
picture's
highly
right
doubt
here.
that.
Zero doubt. They like that
Yeah.
photo. They like themselves.
Yeah.
Ew. Don't like yourself.
Maybe they go to bars and they kind of like leave it for like.
What do you have? Is that Darth Vader?
This is this is some like goth shit.
Oh, cool.
Some cool goth shit.
That is cool. Is that you? In that?
It's me in my final form.
That's you at 40.
Yeah.
You've made it.
Yeah. Holding a sword on a cliff somewhere.
It's so funny. What's your phone background, Mike?
Cat.
Aw,
Okay.
who's
All right.
cat?
Mine.
You have a cat?
You have a cat?
I did.
Oh, it's a dead cat.
R.I.P.
Dead cat.
Oh.
I didn't want to bring us down and just say dead
Aw,
cat.
dead.
just
I was
thought
like-
I'd just leave it at cat until someone had to push.
I'm like, I've never heard of this cat.
Yeah.
Do you want to know when I put him down too?
No, we're stopping it.
Oh my god, I felt so bad for my neighbor who's like my friend. She was watching my cat like when I was in Japan, and then I came back and she was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to tell you while you were there, but I had to put my cat down while I was babysitting yours." I was like, "Fuck."
Oh no,
That's so sad.
I always wonder, like, when I would dog sit and stuff. Imagine, like, there's one dog I used to dog sit that was so old. Like, what if
Yes.
someone's dog died with you?
Right.
Didn't that happen to Eliza Schlesinger?
Really?
I thought she was on the road when that dog she took everywhere with her.
Oh, her own dog. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, with her too.
No, like
yeah, because she was
someone
flying back.
watching
I
it
do remember
and
that.
They had to put it down.
Oh, and to
Yeah.
tell her, because that was like her
Most
baby.
famous dog I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the cutest dog. Yeah, that would be rough.
That's sad.
I
Yeah.
would not want to make that call.
Yeah, my cousin, one branch of my family, I have 14,000 cousins, but they had this giant schnauzer for like, 10, 12 years. It was the best dog ever. But then in the beginning of the pandemic, they went to Vancouver to shoot a movie, and they left, you know, the giant schnauzer, you know, at home in LA. Obviously, they had a lot of people to take care of it, and it had to be put down. And like it was really like the father of the family's dog. Like that was his dog. That was his best friend. You know what I'm saying? But he couldn't. He could have spared the time to fly back, but because of the Vancouver or the Canada COVID quarantine restrictions at the time, he would have had to like self-isolate for like 14 days just after like going to be
Just
with his
getting
dog
there.
to put it down. So that was like a shitty situation. So fucking his mother-in-law, you know, fed the dog a steak, and then you know, the vet came to the house and knocked that puppy out. You know what I'm saying?
Like
But
a little final meal.
yeah,
That's nice.
I know, it's cute when people do that. Vets say that all the time. I have my best friend in Maya. She lives in New York. She rescues a lot of like elderly dogs. Shocker! Spoiler alert: she's a lesbian. And she always has all these old dogs, and you know, they're in poor health, obviously, when they're 17 fucking years old. And so every time she takes them to the vet, they're like, yeah, just fucking feed the thing like cheeseburgers at this point. It doesn't matter. Like, you don't have
That's
to like
have fun.
Yeah. It's like, what if they're eating something? Like, it's okay. Let them have, you know,
Oh.
a donut.
She's just used to feeding dogs last meals at this point. She gets off on it. She's just like, oh, another one's dead. I'm sorry, Mia. I know you don't feel that way.
There's weird people who do. I had a stranger who I knew for all of 15 minutes when my dog was old tell me, "Oh, if it's hard for you, I mean, I'll take your dog off your head."
Shut up.
I was like, "This is my dog.
Wow.
I will go to hell with this dog before you fucking take this
What?
dog from
That's
me."
crazy.
To like, for its it was gross. I was like, "Who are you, lady?"
That's like Munchausen's by proxy by canine. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
yeah.
Oh,
Telling me you need to
God.
put down your dog, like just like, lady.
Oh. Don't like
We're
it.
gonna fight.
I do not like it. Okay, so has there been any miserable, embarrassing moments? You're working on jokes right now? Anything on your mind?
Not really. I was trying to think seriously about this question. That I'm making jokes about. No, I had one joke that I'm like, I feel like I should repurpose because there's something there about how like 7 years ago on New Year's Day, my mom gave me all of her old lingerie, like that she hadn't worn in 20 years.
Yes.
She was like, Happy New Year. Here's all my old like sex gear.
Oh my God.
So I kind of like, I did write a joke about that, but like, and I was doing it for like a while, but the punchline is like more, the punch is like more gross than like particularly a good punchline, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like I should rework it and make it something like actually, you know, like a little bit more clever than just saying like cum rag at the end, you know what I'm saying?
You can still say cum rag, but maybe that'll be the tag, not the punch.
Right. Yes, that's true. But yeah, embarrassing. I don't get embarrassed.
Not with that posture.
No, I fuck.
You don't have to
I'll
say
tell
it.
you. I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay.
The most embarrassing show of my life happened a couple months
Can
ago.
we do it on the Patreon? We could do it after, whatever you're comfortable with. Think about it.
Yeah, it was okay. It was. Yeah, someone. Yeah, I can't even talk a little bit about it just because I'm scared.
Don't
but
worry. We don't want to make you uncomfortable.
Thank you.
I have actually a wiener that happened 2 days ago.
Tell me.
So I was flying home, and while we were boarding the plane, a few rows up, this guy, I'm in the exit row. So a few rows up, this guy comes to the stewardess standing next to me. I'm in that weird seat where it's two people, and then the stewardess sits in that weird chair just for takeoff, which is the best row because no one, you promise it's just you two, and then that person for a second. So he comes talk to her, and he goes, I can't go sit at my row right now. And I couldn't hear what he was saying. I was like, I have to know what's going on here. Because he's like, I'm not going back up to the row. It turns out this couple was changing their baby's poopy diaper on his seat in their row.
Oh my God.
He said the diaper was open. I ended up asking him, like, what's going on? Full on shit diaper.
Holy shit. Literally.
Yeah. Holy shit, literally.
Holy sky high shit.
And it's not like we've been stuck in the air. We're boarding. Like,
Oh.
we're boarding the plane. Everyone's walking. We're still all getting on.
Oh my
full
God.
shit diaper, just 3 rows up.
No, they should have gotten kicked off the plane. There's no way that's not like, you can't argue that's a safety, like a health hazard. You know what I'm
Right?
saying? Like, there's E. coli and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the smell alone, I feel
Yeah.
like, is crazy.
He was like, I can't sit there. And I was like, yeah, you shouldn't sit there.
Where were you flying?
It was from Fort Lauderdale to LA.
Oh, that's a distance.
Yeah. And it was a flight where we got on at midnight. For some reason, that flight was all kids.
Weird.
So many like babies and kids, and I was like, "This is not the this." I thought it was going to be adults,
Right.
Adults cruise, adults
Yeah.
flight, but all kids, open diapers, just a nasty flight.
Oh.
And it was JetBlue, and JetBlue's usually like
pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that is I got my wiener notes, and I go,
Yeah.
people changing shit diaper
Yeah, that's
on
crazy.
this guy's chair during boarding is disgusting.
That's so crazy because you are allowed to go into the bathrooms when you're boarding.
Yeah.
Also.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Because when we're waiting until they say that seatbelt off thing, pure panic. Just face red. I'm going to piss myself.
Yeah.
And then you know what confuses me every time?
Huh.
You get up to the altitude and they go, all right, we're at the this is exactly the verbiage. Okay. Yay. We're at the altitude. You can take out your laptops and other shit, bitches. And then they say, but the seatbelt sign is still on. So we'll let
Right.
you know when it's off. And I'm like, so were we not high enough to pee?
Right.
We're pretty steady.
You know, I had a situation. I was flying to. Where was I flying alone? I don't remember, but I chugged like I stupidly chugged like a strawberry lemonade, which I don't even drink that often, but I had that like at the like 30 minutes before boarding, and it hit me like as soon as the plane, like literally the worst timing, you know, it's like seatbelts on, plane starts taxing, you can't,
You're stuck.
Yeah, you're stuck. And so so we were waiting on the tarmac, whatever. Finally, the plane starts climbing, and I'm like, this is getting painful. This is a
Yes.
bad situation. So the plane's going up, and I was like, I can't fucking take it anymore. So I did like take it off, and I like discreetly ran, and the flight attendant looked at me, and I was like, please, like when
Yeah.
whatever. And she was like, cool with
That's
it.
my
So,
life.
Yeah, you have a weak bladder, right?
Yeah, I've done that move every flight pretty much. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Or you like try not to look into like I can't make eye contact. I know I'm gonna get in trouble, but I will either trouble or piss myself. Either way, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Like this is, but it's
Right.
such a miserable feeling.
Yes.
But yeah, let us just pee. Like, let
Let
pee.
me pee myself.
Please.
There was something else I wanted to discuss with you.
Oh, think about it. Get comfortable. Pretty flexible. I don't know if my hips. Also, we're wearing matching pants, so it's exciting.
I know.
I was gonna say early when we first started, but I didn't get to it yet. I was so excited to have you on because I gotta tell you, after the last time you were on the podcast, one of my favorite people to clip up. Cause you just have such great, strong points of views.
Oh, thank you so much. My goodness.
So we're gonna transfer over to the Patreon, but before we do, is there anything you would like to plug?
When does this come out?
I think 3 weeks.
Oh, nope. In 3 weeks, I will be planning my trip. I don't know. I feel like stand-up wise, something like cool is around the corner. I don't know what, but I have that like instinct a little bit.
I
So
love
hopefully something happens with that. But no, next week I'm gonna be in Long Beach doing comedy and something, whatever.
All right, I'll put her links below. So everything will be there. Follow her, love her, all the things. And go to Patreon for more right now. Okay, go. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.